Maverick Helicopters offers the most diverse and exciting helicopter experiences in Las Vegas. Depart from the private terminal located on the Strip, just seconds away from the resort corridor. Experience the modern comforts of the EcoStar helicopter as you soar high above the Las Vegas Strip, or experience a once-in-a-lifetime excursion to the Grand Canyon. The Wind Dancer is the most popular excursion and features bird's-eye views of Hoover Dam and Lake Mead, as well as landing at the bottom of the Grand Canyon. Make your trip a memory with Maverick Helicopters.
Lane, you see the black and red one?
Yeah.
See how it says Roche Fenway?
Uh-huh.
There we go. Up and away. Oh yeah. Southwest taking off. Golf course.
Yep.
We're going to come right over the airport here in McCarran and make our way out to the east, which is out in front of us, towards Lake Mead. You'll see the strip off the left there, and we'll come back over the strip on the return flight.
Thomas and Mac.
Oh, I did. Yeah.
Stratosphere over there. The highest I've ever been above Vegas. Okay.
Where are you guys staying at?
We're at the Wynn.
You're at the Wynn? What about you guys?
Mirage.
Mirage, all right. So we're high up over Tropicana Avenue right now, making our way out towards Lake Mead. We're cruising along 1,300 feet above the ground, and we'll get a ground speed of 114 knots. It's just building up now to about 130 miles per hour. As you can see, all the pools out here in Las Vegas from above. It's a very vast city. There's over 2 million people live in the area of Las Vegas. That includes Henderson to the south. North Las Vegas out to our left. Nellis Air Force Base is located way up to the north, and that's also where the NASCAR Speedway is. We just passed over Boulder Highway. This long straight road takes you up over the mountains to the right there into Boulder City. This is desert wetlands just in front of us. Nice little oasis in the desert. This greens up quite a bit when we do receive some rain. The waterway that rolls through here is the Las Vegas Wash. Sanborn Stadium off to the right, home of UNLV. The total flight time from Las Vegas out to the Grand Canyon is typically 40 to 45 minutes. A little bit of a headwind today, so it's probably going to be closer to 45. We're just on the east side of Vegas now. You see Lake Mead way out in the distance. We're going to fly the south shore of Lake Mead past the Hoover Dam and then continue along the south shore all the way out to the Grand Canyon today. The smaller lake you see up in the foreground is Lake Las Vegas. It's a man-made lake, built in the early 90s. Some beautiful real estate all around the lake and several golf courses. A couple of golf courses went into foreclosure during the recession, and they haven't got them up and running yet. One of them is on the far side, that's all operational, but the one on this side of the lake in front of us is not. You see the bridge that crosses Lake Las Vegas down here. This is a replica of the bridge in Florence, Italy. So there's several hotels down here that have gone through changes in ownership. There's also some restaurants and shops in this area. It's about a 30-minute drive from Las Vegas, downtown. There'll be pockets of turbulence around today. It's a lot less windy than it was yesterday, where we were getting gusts out here 40 miles an hour. It should be overall fairly good. As we cross some of the ridge lines, that's where we usually receive the most turbulence. I wish that I could fly into the sky so very high. Up ahead and to the right, you'll see some large holes in the ground. Those are old manganese mines that closed in 1961. One of the local artists painted a Wheel of Fortune down there on one of those circles you may notice on the ground next to the storage yard. So 90% of Las Vegas's drinking water comes from this water source out here, Lake Mead. This is known as Boulder Basin here in front of us. Just a small section of the lake. The rest of it's actually on the other side of the mountains, a little further out. A lot of people utilize the lake for recreation purposes. And in the sometimes when it's busiest, we get a lot of people coming out in their boats to jet ski, water ski, and wakeboard. These mountains we're crossing are known as the River Mountains. Not a whole lot out here. There's a few trails around that people like to come out on in their ATVs and Jeeps, etc. And there are animals out here too, including bobcat, coyote, fox, bighorn sheep, and burro. Burro is a wild donkey. So right now there's two pipelines down into the bottom of Boulder Basin drawing water for Las Vegas. The water facility is over to the left. Those two pipelines don't go down deep enough into this lake as it's been receding. So they're quite concerned that the bottom of the straw won't be touching water soon as the lake level continues to drop. So they're actually drilling a third hole deep down into the bottom of this basin. And hopefully it'll be ready before the lake level gets too low. It's expected to drop another 20 feet this year. Right now it's down 120 feet from its maximum capacity. The boat ramp down here off our left, and this beach along here is known as Boulder Beach, where there's a campground and trailer park just up here, and the marina further up. And off to the right you see Boulder City. Boulder City, Nevada. This town was built by the government back in the early 1930s to house the workers that constructed the Hoover Dam. So this is where they all resided. At that time, Boulder City was actually bigger than Las Vegas. There was no drinking or gambling allowed at the time that the dam workers were all living here. And still to this day, there's no gambling allowed in Boulder City, even though it's in the state of Nevada. So we're just coming up towards Boulder Highway. You'll see this road along our right side. This takes you through Boulder City and out to the Hoover Dam, which is going to be up ahead and to our left in a moment. Well, the Hoover Dam will be up ahead and to the left. You can see the new arch bridge, the Michael Callahan Pat Tillman Memorial Bridge that was built just over 3 years ago. And behind the bridge, you'll see the Hoover Dam in a second. What I'll be doing is making a left turn followed by a right turn, just so you can see the dam from both sides of the helicopter. You can get a glimpse of the Colorado River down in front of us now, deep down in Black Canyon. You should get a glimpse of the Hoover Dam now, heading to our right. The Hoover Dam was constructed over a 5-year period in the early 1930s, so it was quite an amazing feat of engineering. They got it done ahead of schedule and under budget. The dam is 726 feet tall, 660 feet thick at the base of the dam, and 45 feet thick around the crest. You can see traffic driving over the dam. You're allowed to do that if you're doing a tour of the dam. But most of the through traffic just traveling between the state of Nevada and Arizona will go right over the bridge, saving a huge amount of time because they used to stop all the traffic as they made their way down that windy road over the dam. Now above the dam, you'll notice the water level along the edge of the lake has decreased a lot because you see the white ring. That's mineral deposits on the walls of the canyon there. For video on today's flight, there's an onboard camera mounted on the nose of the helicopter, so everything's recorded. So a good video of the dam. All the narration, all the music, everything you guys talk about through the microphones is all recorded today. We're just approaching Big Slope Mountain over here. This is all volcanic rock in this area. This was a volcano a little over 6 million years ago. It's known as Fortification Hill. You can actually hike to the top of Fortification Hill from this road that's in front of us here. You can drive up the road a ways and then take one of the trails up the ridge line. Everyone doing okay so far?
Yep.
All right, good deal. At times I'm quite busy, occupied talking back and forth on the radios to some of the other pilots and listening to their radio calls to paint a picture of where everyone's at today. It gets quite busy out here at times. Today's not too bad, but on a busy summer day there could be 50 helicopters between here and the Grand Canyon going back and forth. And we all have specific routes we follow and altitudes we maintain. And today's a pretty nice day out here, just light to moderate winds. Now when we fly back later on, we're going to follow a slightly different path. We won't come back past the Hoover Dam. We're actually going to go further onto the other side of the lake and out past an area known as the Bowl of Fire. We'll fly through an area of red rock. So you can see a lot of the red rock out in the Bowl of Fire, just on the other side of the lake past the first mountain. What we'll be doing here in a moment is making a right turn over the saddle in front of us and heading out across the south shore of Lake Mead. Now keep a look around beneath us as we're a little bit closer to the ground. You may see animals out here, including bighorn sheep. I did see some out here last week. Quite difficult to spot, but what I look for is shadows moving across the ground. That's the easiest way to spot them. For the rest of the water you see out in front of us is the rest of Lake Mead. It's actually the largest man-made reservoir in North America, with about 500 miles of shoreline around this lake. Approximately 400 feet deep. It does vary quite a bit. Now, prior to the Hoover Dam being built, there was no lake here. It was just the Colorado River and two other smaller rivers that flowed through here. Anyone been to the Grand Canyon before?
No.
First time for everyone? All right. So we're going to the west rim of the Grand Canyon. This is the most common point for anyone staying in Las Vegas because it's closest. To get to the south rim of the Grand Canyon, at the other end, it would take you about 5 hours to drive there and a little over an hour and a half to fly there in a helicopter. The south rim is actually more popular. They get a lot more visitors at the south rim. It's a national park area there. So most people head towards that point. It's actually the widest part of the Grand Canyon at the south rim. If few more roads up in this area. Again, this is open to the public. It's Lake Mead National Recreation Area, so anyone can use these roads. Lake Mead National Recreation Area is 1.5 million acres of lake and some of the surrounding land, including the land south of the Hoover Dam towards Lake Mojave. So some of the fish species out here in this lake include largemouth bass, smallmouth bass, stripers, channel catfish, bluegill, and crappie. There's also some sunfish. Now to drive out to this point of Lake Mead out in front of us would take about 1.5 hours.
Got some words on cardboard, got your picture in my head saying, if you see this girl, can you tell her where I am? Some try to hand me money, but they don't understand. I'm not broke, I'm just a broken-hearted man.
This part of the lake right here in front of us that comes down to the south is known as Benelli Bay. We're going to fly over this on the return, but we'll be much lower. We have a specified altitude on the return that's quite close to the ground, only 200 or 300 feet above the ground. And it's a better chance to see any animals in this area. Now, most of the time we see animals down on the shoreline during the summer, in the middle of the day, as they come down to get a drink of water. So there's the bighorn sheep we sometimes see, but most often it's burro, which is the donkey, and wild horses. So this lake is very unusual shape simply because the Colorado River basically flooded in this area after the Hoover Dam was built. The other rivers that come into the lake are further to the north up that northern arm known as Overton Arm. There's the Virgin River that comes down through Utah and also the Muddy River. But the main water source that feeds this lake is the Colorado River. And because of the lack of snowmelt up in the Rockies and all the tributaries that lead into the Colorado River, it's really affected a lot of the lakes down here in the southwest, reducing the amount of water in just about every one of them. So the problem with lack of snowmelt, global warming, all that good stuff is really the main effect on the water level in this lake. The lack of rainfall that we have in this area doesn't equate to much in terms of filling the lake. So only 4.5 inches annually in this area is about the rainfall amount. And most of that rain comes during monsoon season. For us, monsoon runs from about July 4th until around mid-September when they start kind of dying off. But we get a lot of moisture driven up from the Gulf of California into this area. It gets pushed up into the higher elevations of these mountains around us and create thunderstorms. And those thunderstorms will produce quite a bit of isolated rain. A lot of that rain comes down, all these dry washes you see underneath us, all these little what look like dried up streams underneath us are known as dry washes. So they will carry water at certain times of the year if there's heavy rain. Thunderstorms can cause problems for us flying out to the Grand Canyon, of course. Weather's a major factor for us because we fly VFR or visual flight rules. So everything we do is visual. If we can't see where we're going, we can't fly. A lot of the big airlines obviously can go onto their instruments to make it in and out of airports. Another factor can be snowfall, which is hard to imagine in this area, but it will snow all the way down to lake level at times. although this has been an extremely mild winter, and right now we're still experiencing above average temperatures for this time of the year. There is a marina up ahead and to the right over here. This is called Temple Bar. Just another access point onto this lake. There's about 5 marinas around this lake, boat ramps. Over here you've got a boat ramp, a trailer park, a campground, and also an airstrip. We see a smaller runway just further up the slope to the right. And we often see a lot more boats out here in the summertime. Of course, the water's a lot warmer in the summer than this time of the year. Right now, water temperature's around 55 to 60 degrees Fahrenheit, but it will warm right up to about 80 degrees or 27 Celsius in the summer months. So the water's nice and warm in the summer. Now there's a lake at the other end of the Grand Canyon, very similar to this one, called Lake Powell. It sits on the border of Utah and Arizona. And there's another dam up there holding all the water into Lake Powell. And that's the Glen Canyon Dam. The Lake Powell's similar looking, a little bit smaller, but it has a lot more red rock up in that area. Further out past Lake Powell is Monument Valley, where they filmed a lot of the old Western movies, including the John Wayne movies. But also the latest Lone Ranger was filmed out at Monument Valley at the other end of Lake Powell. You see a boat down there or something?
Something under the water, I wasn't sure.
Oh, okay. A couple of boats in the bay over there to the right. Oh, a boat and some jet skis perhaps. We're about 15 minutes away from the Grand Canyon right now. You'll see it up in front of us where the cliffs are in the distance. That's where we're going to be climbing to, up over the rim there and then down into the canyon. And we'll be on the floor of the Grand Canyon for about 30 minutes today. And then we're going to fly from the Grand Canyon out to a point further to the right on the other side of the lake to where we'll get some fuel. And then from our fuel, we'll fly back to Las Vegas direct. We're just coming up over the east side of Lake Mead, so this is the other end of the lake. This is known as Greg Basin. A little bit of sediment and silt floating around in the lake. This all comes from the Colorado River, which is further up to the left. The Colorado River has quite a long journey. It starts up in the Rocky Mountains, comes all the way down through here, down south into the Gulf of California and Mexico. It's about just under 1,500 miles long. As we cross over the middle of the lake, we're passing into the state of Arizona. Out on the right side, if you look up on the plateau, you see a lot of reflection up there. Those are all houses. That's a small town called Meadview, Arizona. It was established in the early 60s as a retirement community. Not too many people live out there full time. It's a lot of retirees and a lot of unoccupied homes. But there's about 500 residents. It's very isolated though. The nearest supermarket is an hour away. Now, the state of Utah is not too far from us. It's about 50 miles to the north out the left side past the mountains. In a second here, we're going to start a gentle climb, head up over the rim of the Grand Canyon. I want to point out the X you see on the ground over here to our left. This is two intersecting runways for an old airstrip that they used to use out here. As we climb up and you look out to the left, you'll see the Colorado River as it weaves its way out of the Grand Canyon. This is River Mile 277 over here. This is the length of the Grand Canyon, and the very end of the Colorado River, as far as the Grand Canyon is concerned, is the point at which a lot of the river rafting expeditions finish. It takes 2 weeks to do the full length of the Grand Canyon on the Colorado River by raft, if you go from one end to the other. But there are shorter trips available too. You can do week-long trips and also day trips. Most of the trips start at the other end of the Grand Canyon up near Lee's Ferry, which is River Mile 0, right near Page.
long red river, watch the cattle as they bedded down.
All right, folks, we're just approaching the west rim of the Grand Canyon. I'd like to welcome you all to one of the 7 natural wonders of the world, the Grand Canyon. We'll continue up the canyon at this altitude for some distance, and then we're going to descend down towards the Colorado River.
The prairie moon was blazing silver.
There's hundreds of side canyons throughout the Grand Canyon itself. We're about to cross one of those. And these have a huge scale in themselves. You see how deep and wide this is. This is very similar to the one that the guy did the tightrope walk across last year over the Grand Canyon. That was done at the other end, but it's about the same distance and height.
I could use some rest. Then all at once, the wind shifts directions. The clouds roll in behind the tumbleweeds. These longhorn cattle are getting restless. God help us all. If they
I hope no one's afraid of heights. It's a little late now. Just do what I do. Close your eyes. So the Colorado River's down there beneath us, about 4,000 feet below us, in fact, and the width of the Grand Canyon in this area is about 4 miles across. So the south rim's much wider. It's about 18 miles across at the south rim and about a mile deep. Lots of sandbars in the Colorado River. As you look below us, you see these big brown areas where the sand's built up. All the silt and sediment gets washed down the Grand Canyon from rainfall, and the river kind of acts like a giant conveyor belt, transporting all that silt and sediment down towards Lake Mead. There are certain times of the year, if there is a lot of rainfall, the river will actually change to more of a brown color. Right now it's quite green. In the summertime, we often see river rafting groups making their way down the Colorado River. Don't see any out here right now. Now this side of the Grand Canyon is operated by the Hualapai Indians. The Indian reservation begins below us on the river's edge and makes its way all out to the right side up over the rim to the mountains. The Hualapai's main income out in this area is from tourism. The main attraction out here is the Skywalk. You can kind of see it from here. If you look out over the rim, there's the first building up on the edge of the cliff here is Guano Point. The second one to the right is the Skywalk, a little further back there. And we'll see it again as we make our way around the corner a little bit. So there's an airport located out here, and you can drive out to this area of the Grand Canyon also from Las Vegas. Now Guano Point's named because they used to hold back guano from a cave on the bottom side of the river on the left side, and that back guano was used for fertilizer. So they had a big cable system running across the canyon. That was done in the 50s. They shut down the operation after they figured there wasn't as much guano in there as they thought. But they left the cable up, and Air Force jet was flying low level through here one day and actually clipped the cable and snapped it. The jet flew safely back to Nellis Air Force Base. You see the two towers where the cable is attached up here, right over here. Now as we descend down, you'll look up this right wall on our right side. You'll see the Skywalk up there. Looks small from here. It's quite a large structure. It's very strong too. It can hold 71 747s. It protrudes out about 30 feet from the edge of the canyon. And there's 7 layers of glass that you stand on. We're going to come over the Colorado River here. I'll be quite occupied on the approach with other traffic in the area, just making our way in here. So just enjoy the views as we descend down. We'll be on the ground here in about 5 minutes. guys, hope you enjoyed the flight.
Up and away.
There's something wrong with the world today. I don't know what it is. Something's wrong with our eyes.
Beautiful.
We're seeing things in a different. God knows it ain't his. It sure ain't no surprise.
All right, Will, this is for you, buddy. Take a look. You were here.
Something wrong with the world today. The light bulb's getting dim. There's meltdown in the sky. Wise man, color of his skin. And mister, you're a better man than I. Living on the edge, you can't let yourself on fire. Living on the edge.
This big side canyon we're flying up here is known as Quartermaster Canyon. It's various dry washes that kind of all meet up into this canyon. There are bighorn sheep that live up and around the cliffs, so take a look around. You may spot a bighorn sheep.
Aggravation is getting to you. If Chicken Little tells you that the sky is falling, even if it wasn't, would you still come crawling back again? I bet you would, my friend. Again.
Some of the birds we see out here, red-tailed hawks, golden eagles, bald eagles, ravens, and turkey vultures. And at the south rim of the Grand Canyon, they actually have quite a few California condor. We've climbed about 3,500 feet from the bottom of the canyon up to the rim level now. I haven't seen many animals up on the rim here past few weeks, but there are elk out here, also deer, javelina, pronghorn antelope, and coyote. Last monsoon season, there was quite a big lightning storm in this area. Lightning hit the ground right underneath us here and caused a small fire, and you'll see a lot of burnt trees in this area.
enough on the right-hand side. First car.
Yeah, this is the road into Grand Canyon West right off the right here. They're working on improving this one. I think they're going to seal it soon. About a 10-mile section that's unpaved. So you'll see, we often see a lot of buses and tour vehicles coming out here on a daily basis. It can snow up in this area quite often during the winter, although I don't think they've had much in the way of snow in this area this year.
I was raised off of Route 3, out past where the blacktop ends. We'd walk to church on Sunday morning, race barefoot back to Johnson's fence. That's where I first saw Mary, on that roadside picking blackberries.
This is about the highest point we'll be in the flight, is 6,000 feet above sea level, and you can actually see Lake Mead from here now, out to the right.
It's where I drank my first beer. It's where I found Jesus. Where I wrecked my first car. I tore it all to pieces. I learned the path to heaven is full of sinners and believers. Learned that happiness on earth ain't just for high achievers. I've come to know there's life at both ends of that red dirt road. Her daddy didn't like me much in my shackled up GTO. I'd sneak out in the middle of the night, throw rocks at her bedroom window. We'd turn out the drive by the moonlight, talk about what the future might.
There's a cattle ranch off the left side over here, and a couple of helipads. They actually, one of the other companies does landings in here. And then people can go out on horseback rides up into the mountains and see some bison up in that area. We're just passing the township of Meadview again, up ahead and to our right. Earlier in the flight, we were further to the north, which is at our right side on the other side of Meadview.
Sinners and believers learn that happiness on earth ain't just for high achievers. I've come to know there's life at both ends of that red dirt road.
Now, this is part of the Mojave Desert that we're flying over here. The Mojave Desert's made up of a lot of Joshua trees, and there's quite a few of them underneath us. They're about 20 feet tall, and they can live up to 1,000 years.
Into the world, and I came back in. I lost Mary, oh, I got her back again. And driving home tonight feels like I found a long lost friend. It's where I drank my first beer. It's where I found Jesus. Where I wrecked my first car. I tore it all to pieces. I learned the path to heaven is full of sinners and believers. Learned that happiness on earth ain't just for high achievers. I've come to know.
This road in front of us takes you down to Kingman, which is on I-40. Out to the left's a big dry lake known as Red Lake. I saw some water in there last summer after some monsoon rains, but it evaporates pretty quick. Well, we're on our descent now. We're going to head down to our fuel farm and be on the ground in less than 5 minutes. Now in front of us on the ground, you'll see a whole bunch of grids, lines out here. If you zoom into this area on Google Earth, you'll see that these are all named streets. So, from what little information I can gather, they were going to develop a town in this area, similar to Meadview, but it never went beyond the construction of the roads. A lot of people come out into this area on ATVs just to enjoy the desert. Some people will even look around for gold using metal detectors, and there's also meteorites in this area. There's a strewn field right through here. Once we land again, I'm going to open the doors up for you, so leave the doors closed. We'll get everybody out of the aircraft for fueling. We'll only be here about 5 minutes, and then we're going to load up, head back to Vegas, which is about another 30-minute flight. And just to save some time, leave the yellow PFD on this time. As we descend down, you'll see a lot of desert shrubs beneath us, a few varieties of cacti, and the Joshua tree.
Oh, yeah.
All right, we're just waiting on Kevin to land behind us, and then I'll get these doors opened up for you. Actually, an old abandoned mine just down on the hillside to our left over here. We're just headed towards Benelli Bay, further up ahead of us here. We'll be flying a little bit lower on this leg. Earlier in the flight, we crossed over the lake over to our right. That's just north of Temple Bar. So the oldest state park in Nevada is known as the Valley of Fire, and it's just up over the Muddy Mountains on the other side of the lake there, those dark-colored mountains. And it's about an hour and a half or so away from Vegas. Beautiful red rock up in that area. Now the lake looks extremely blue today. On a nice clear day like this, it does kind of make it a dark blue color. On a cloudy day, it's more of a grayish green color in the water. A lot of it depends on the light. We're just approaching Benelli Bay now. Earlier in the flight, we're about 2,000 feet above the lake. Through here will be quite low. Did see a couple of Bottle, which is the donkey, probably about 3 days ago, around near the water's edge here, but I haven't seen anything the last couple of days. We'll take a look around as we fly by.
the other one over there?
I think he's going to pass us. We're just approaching an area known as the Narrows. Just up ahead and to our left is where the water passes from the Virgin Basin into Boulder Basin on the other side. And this was the original site for the Hoover Dam up here, ahead and to the left. They decided not to put it here because there was a fault line that ran through here. We get a glimpse of Las Vegas now up to the distance at our 9 o'clock at the left side.
Yeah.
This highway we're about to cross is North Shore Road. It takes you up to Overton Arm, north end of Lake Mead, and also up into the Valley of Fire State Park. And ahead of us is the Bowl of Fire. This is a small area of red rock. We're going to fly through this area. There's a parking lot down here and a few hiking trails.
Love is a burning thing, and it makes a fire. Bound by wild desire,
All this red rock in the ball of fire is Aztec sandstone. Dates back to the Jurassic period. It's about 150 million years old.
down, and the flames went higher, and it burns, burns, burns. The ring of fire, the ring of fire. I fell into a burning ring of fire. I went down, 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 and the flames went higher, and it burns, burns, burns. The ring of fire, the ring of fire. The taste of love is sweet when hearts like ours meet.
The Boulder Basin is up ahead and to our left. Earlier in the flight, we flew along the south shore of the lake there on the other side, on our way up past Boulder City, which you can see some of the homes way up on the slope on the other side. And the Hoover Dam is in that location also. So from here, we'll make pretty much a direct line back into Las Vegas. We'll make our way into the city over Charleston Boulevard and then up over Fremont Street. And then turn from downtown past the strip all the way down into the airport. Now, one of the tallest peaks in the area is Mount Charleston. At 2 o'clock way back there, you see the snow on top of Mount Charleston. Mount Charleston's almost 12,000 feet high. And there's a ski and snowboard resort located up there. So less than an hour's drive from Las Vegas, you can go skiing right now.
And it burns, burns, burns. The ring of fire, the ring of fire, the ring of fire.
That morning, the sun made its way through the windshield of my Chevrolet. Whiskey eyes and ashtray breath on a church rock gravel road. What the hell did I do last night? That's the story of my life, like trying to remember words to a song nobody wrote. And it's sad and it's long, and can't nobody sing along. It's a southbound train, it's a whistle and the wind. Ain't no one there to care where I've been. I'm humming on that lonesome song again. I took a trip across the country from Montgomery.
Over to the right, you see a big square area, dark blue. Those are solar panels, so there's a solar power farm there. Just to the left of that is a gypsum mine. And behind the gypsum mine, further back, you'll see the racetrack for the NASCAR Motor Speedway. That's kind of a ways out. So Nellis Air Force Base, just on this side of the track. We're just a few more minutes out from Las Vegas. I'll be putting on a narration for you as we fly over the city.
That morning, the sun made its way through the windshield of my Chevrolet. Whiskey eyes and ashtray breath on a church rock gravel road.
Hi everybody, welcome to Maverick Helicopters and Las Vegas, also known as the City of Entertainment. Las Vegas is home to more than 140,000 hotel rooms, as well as world-class shows, exquisite dining, and some of the finest shopping in the world. Las Vegas has one of the busiest airspaces in the world. Between McCarran Airport, which has more than 1,500 flights per day, and nearby Nellis Air Force Base, the Las Vegas airspace is buzzing with activity. Due to this environment, the pilot is required to maintain tower communication at all times during your flight, and will be back with you as soon as possible. Throughout the flight, we'll give you some interesting tidbits about Las Vegas and its surrounding areas. Please take in the beauty and mystique of Las Vegas and enjoy your flight.
Now, Las Vegas can have a lot of problems with flash floods, especially during the monsoon season, so there's a lot of underground channels that divert water away from the city. And out on this mountainside, just on the other side here, you'll see some of that flood control.
15 of the 20 largest hotels in the world are located in Las Vegas, and all are within 2 miles of each other. Also, 21 of the top 28 hotels are located within that same 2-mile radius. The top 5 largest hotels in Las Vegas by rank are the MGM Grand, the Luxor, Mandalay Bay, the Venetian, and Excalibur. To put it all into perspective, there are more hotel rooms in Las Vegas than in all of Europe.
So Nellis Air Force Base is about 4 miles off to the right side over there where the big planes are, and the speedway is just beyond that.
Over 37 million people visit Las Vegas each year. Only 5% of visitors say they come to Vegas to gamble, but before they leave, 87% of them will try their luck. Thanks to this additional revenue, Nevada is one of the few states that have no state income tax. During the flight, we're going to be giving you a bird's eye view of the Stratosphere Tower. It's 1,179 feet tall. It's the tallest freestanding structure in the U.S. west of the Mississippi River. If you're a brave person, there are several thrill rides on top of the tower, including a roller coaster and the famous Big Shot. You may have seen Vegas on the big screen. Numerous movies have been featured in and around Las Vegas. Some of the more popular titles include The Hangover, Ocean's 11, Casino, Swingers, Leaving Las Vegas, Con Air, and Rain Man. Additionally, the Emmy Award-winning television show CSI is based on the Las Vegas Metropolitan Police Department's Crime Scene Investigation Unit. Las Vegas wasn't always this amazing. The town actually started out as a small railroad stop in 1905 because of all things, we had water. The translation, Las Vegas, from Spanish, means the meadows. It was a frequent stop for travelers due to its natural underground water springs. There are approximately 2 million residents that depend on that water here in the Las Vegas Valley. The hospitality industry is the largest employer in the valley with over 50% of the workforce. And interestingly, 84% of Nevada's land is owned by the federal government, more than any other state. Nevada is also the largest producer of gold in the United States and second in the world behind South Africa in gold production.
All right, so we're just over Fremont Street now. This is downtown right here in front of us.
Las Vegas enjoys over 300 days of sunny weather per year, but of course, being a desert, we only average about 4.5 inches of rainfall. The winters are generally mild with daytime highs in the 60s and lows in the 40s. The summers are another story. On average, there are 72 days a year over 100 degrees in temperature, with most days in July and August topping 110 degrees. Make sure you drink lots of water. However, the good news is the humidity is very low and often under 10%. As a matter of fact, the locals say it's a dry heat.
We're headed south now. The I-15 freeway is on our right. And Las Vegas Boulevard is on our left.
The Hoover Dam is located 30 miles southeast of the Strip and is one of the largest visitor attractions in the area. Created in 1935.
Up on the left there, Dad, that's all those cranes.
See a helicopter up our left just down here a little bit. That's a Metro helicopter. We're just on a pursuit, a vehicle pursuit. Yeah, all the conventions over here to our left. You see all the cranes now, just coming up off the left there.
The natural wonders of the world, the Grand Canyon. The Grand Canyon is located 75 miles east of Las Vegas and can be reached by helicopter in less than minutes. The canyon stretches nearly 280 miles across the state of Arizona. At the south rim, the canyon is almost 18 miles wide and 1 mile deep.
So it's coming up to the heart of the Strip.
The wind's got its own golf course? Oh, yeah.
Yep.
Will you marry me? That is one of the most popular questions that's asked often here in Las Vegas. And of course, Vegas is one of the most popular locations for destination weddings in the world. On average, more than 100,000 weddings take place here every year. That works out to be about 315 weddings per day. In fact, over 5% of all weddings in the United States take place right here in the Las Vegas Valley.
You see the one that's the oval there?
Yeah.
That's the one I was talking about.
Okay.
Bob Thornton and Angelina Jolie, Bruce Willis and Demi Moore, and Frank Sinatra and Mia Farrow. Others getting married in Vegas include Michael Jordan, Joan Collins, Britney Spears, Celine Dion, Clint Eastwood, and John Bon Jovi. On March 21st, 2003, a 25-year-old engineer won a record jackpot of over $39 million on the popular Megabucks slot machines, making it the largest slot machine win in Las Vegas history.
This golf course we're crossing is the Bali High.
$1 billion is bet annually here in Nevada. Slots are the most popular form of gaming, accounting for more than 75% of all play. Blackjack is by far the most popular table game, and football is the most popular bet within the sports books.
Gray ones are the ones with Earnhardt written on the tail?
Oh,
Yeah, these big gray ones are Earnhardt's.
Chinese culture, the number 4 is considered bad luck. And because high rollers from China are very important to the Las Vegas gambling industry, Wynn Las Vegas, the Rio, and others have no floors that begin with the number 4. Their elevators go from
Got 3 of them.
9 to floor 51 and so on. Just for fun, check your hotel to see if
who drives the trucks then?
You're funny.
the Luxor's beam is the most powerful light in the world and is one of the 3 objects visible from outer space. The pyramid itself is 30 stories high and features the world's largest atrium at 29 million cubic feet. Hungry? Thank goodness the days of Las Vegas being a buffet town are over. Celebrity chefs have flocked to Las Vegas and have succeeded in making the city one of the top culinary destinations in the world. Wolfgang Puck started this trend in 1992 when he brought his acclaimed spago to the Forum Shops at Caesar's Palace. Since then, world-class chefs such as Joel Robuchon, Emeril Lagasse, Charlie Palmer, Bobby Flay, and Mario Batali have opened and operated restaurants in Las Vegas. It's been a pleasure entertaining you here in fabulous Las Vegas, Nevada. Thanks for flying with Maverick Helicopters. We hope you come back and see us again real soon.
Alrighty guys, thank you all so much for flying with Maverick today. I hope you enjoyed that flight to the Grand Canyon.